We build elaborate puzzles in our minds, certain that truth must be hidden in the most intricate piece. Yet sometimes, the answer is in the corner piece, the most basic, obvious one we set aside. There's always two schools of thought, one that constantly pushes the boundaries, seeking innovation, and another that remains grounded in tradition. The reality is, we aren't all born with the same gifts. Some are naturally blessed with physicality and athleticism, others with intelligence, while the rest of us make the most of what we have. Take Mikey Garcia for example. He's not the most athletic. His physique isn't particularly remarkable for someone who competes at the elite level. But what sets him apart is his unwavering commitment to the basics and his ability to execute them at the highest level. On July 28, 2018, the then WBC lightweight world champion, Mikey Garcia, was scheduled for a lightweight unification bout against the young champion, Robert Easter Jr., who was making a fourth defense of his IBF lightweight world title. Easter, a tall and rangy boxer puncher, was recognized for his impressive 5' 11" height and 76" reach, which he used to control the distance with his jab. Despite his ability to box at range, Easter was known for his willingness to engage in aggressive exchanges and fight on the inside when the situation called for. Being the smaller fighter, Mikey Garcia was not only 5 inches shorter than Easter, but had an 8-inch reach disadvantage. This is a big deal, as when two fundamentally schooled boxers squared off, it is often a jab that determines who takes control of the fight. From the opening bout, it was crucial for Mikey to establish control. If he allowed Easter to establish his jab from the outside, he would be surrendering control of the fight, forcing himself, the shorter fighter, to box from the outside against a taller, rangier boxer who thrives from range. To counter this, Mikey needed to apply pressure, not wild, reckless pressure, but more calculated, intelligent pressure. A common misconception about pressure is that it's most effective diving headfirst into the fire, but that's far from the truth. Intelligent pressure is based on control while taking away space, not all through offense, but also through defense. First things first, to hold ground and press Easter back, Garcia wouldn't just walk straight in and fire at every chance he got. He would linger at firing range and hold that position. This meant not only that he had to neutralize the jab, but he'd also need a sturdy enough defense to withhold the combinations when Easter fired off. Mikey's defense was simple, but highly effective. He fought tall with a balanced stance, hands low enough for vision, but high enough to react. He mixes defense with hand blocks and parries, or by pulling back from range while blocking, denying Easter the opportunity to follow up unless he further committed by stepping in. Right-handed body by Robert Easter Jr., 2 right hands. Once Mikey displayed his competence in holding ground, the next step was establishing the jab. Being that he was always in striking range, the jab became more of a threat as he didn't need to cover as much ground as he would have from the outside. Timing was a huge factor. Knowing when to pull the trigger is far more important than pulling the trigger itself. When we're talking about basics at its highest level, we're talking about the importance of nuances and subtleties that often go overlooked. Let's start with the layers behind Mikey's jab. Once his jab started to find its target, it immediately became a threat. To further amplify that threat, Mikey integrated lead hand probes and feints into his rhythm. This had a clear impact on Easter, who started reacting to the feints. Not only did this disrupt Easter's timing for defensive counters, but taking a bait also led to misfires, underscoring the lingering threat posed from the jab.
Junior took it well, and Easter has been keeping himself.
The devil is in the details, and the timing was when Easter extended his lead hand, using it as a gauge, palm from the outside. This habit, though, left him vulnerable. While his hand was extended, Mikey exploded in with his jab before Easter could retract. A clear reminder, past success of techniques doesn't promise future results. We also had to appreciate the use of techniques, like harnessing momentum from his bounce to propel forward, or aiming not where the opponent is, but where they're going. Then there's the discipline and fundamentals, simple things that often get forgotten, such as keeping the right hand up while throwing the lead. It's in these subtle details that create a proficient technician. A key aspect of ring intelligence is knowing when to apply pressure and when to pull back. Equally important is recognizing the right moments to defend or when to trade. As a boxer, it's crucial to understand which range and position best suits each punch. Typically, the shorter boxer has the advantage on the inside, where they're able to generate more leverage in close proximity.
Just hammering away on Robert Easter Jr.
When Mikey found himself in a pocket, he didn't hesitate to let that lead hook go. Both Mikey and Easter threw the left hooks at nearly the same time, landing almost simultaneously. However, Mikey was left standing for several reasons. Easter's left hook lacked full rotation, as he was pulling back and his punch straightened out, while Mikey's left hook followed his right cross, meaning his lead shoulder was already loaded. This allowed him to fully rotate into the punch with both feet playing it, maximizing its impact.
Right hand, followed by the left hook.
When it came to punch placement, Mikey was an architect, sketching lines through blueprints designed for demolition. Everything began with the jab. Each jab was a Scalpels Incision, tracing a path for the next decisive strike. It was about coercing an action, then exploiting the reaction. If Easter pulled back, Michael would follow up with straight punches while Easter was off balance, before he was able to fully plant his feet. If Easter stood his ground behind a tight high guard, Michael would split his punches, threading them between and around the guard to break through.
It was tougher than usual. There's the jab, and look at this big right hand. Mikey Gatcia showing his aggressive with Easter Jr. against the ropes. And Mikey, big left hook.
It was about the subtlety of timing, the short pauses between punches, the faintest shifts in movement.
There was that big left hook.
Mikey mixed these in with subtle cues to induce unnecessary reactions under duress, creating the smallest openings as they unfolded. A true technician knows exactly when to shift the tempo of the fight, though Mikey applies steady pressure throughout. Some rounds saw him crank up the heat, forcing Easter out of any sense of comfort. To incite chaos, you must disrupt rhythm, denying your opponent the luxury of adjustments. Mikey shifting into high gears to break the flow. He'd cut off the ring, further pressing Easter against the ropes, shrinking the canvas and limiting him to just lateral movement. It wasn't always about landing clean punches, it was about imposing his will, asserting his dominance. Comfort thrives in predictable patterns, but chaos is the devil that shatters it.
This has been action back here tonight, and chance on Mikey. A big answer right back. With a big straight.
We often pursue complexity, believing it to be superior, when in truth, the simplest path frequently yields the greatest results. Strong foundations are always built upon the basics, and it's the fundamentals that sustain us the longest, especially at the highest levels. Mikey Garcia embodied this philosophy, anchoring his style in stern balance, fluid rhythm, and above all, simplicity. In the end, true mastery is not revealed through elaborate means, but through disciplined adherence to what brought us success in the first place.